Hello guys, the EPL returned over the weekend, full of action, drama, and moments of memories to take from game week 1, with matches played across England. Manchester City travelled to Wolverhampton Wanderers, defeating Wolves 4 goals to nothing. Tottenham Hotspur was at home to Burnley at White Hart Lane, defeated Burnley by 3 goals to nil. Brighton played 1-1 draw with Fulham at home. Chelsea was at home at Stamford Bridge, playing 0-0 draw to Crystal Palace. Sunderland, the newcomers, defeated West Ham 3 goals to nothing. Arsenal went to Old Trafford, defeated Manchester United by a lone goal. The EPL returned with full actions, dramas, and controversies all around. Stay tuned as I take you around this video with some of the latest transfer in the transfer market. But before we look at some of the latest transfer happening, let's take a look at some of the reaction that came out after Chelsea played a goalless draw at Stamford Bridge. I call it a frustrating goalless draw at Stamford Bridge against Crystal Palace. Lots of reaction trailed that Chelsea draw, but this one actually caught me. And let's see what Gary Neville said after Chelsea played goalless draw with Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge. Take a look at what Gary Neville, the Manchester United legend, said. Check this out. Gary Neville, I think Chelsea will have a very good season, but you are not looking at Joao Pedro and Delap in the same light as Arsenal's front line or Haaland or Liverpool. The spine is also not there. They are not ready. We are not just saying that because of today, because they have drawn against a very good side in Crystal Palace. This is coming from Gary Neville from the Gary Neville podcast. What Gary Neville just said is like, it's like telling someone you're beautiful and you in turn just tell that person, but the moment you said but, you've actually spoiled the whole statement. And that is what Gary Neville is looking at Chelsea. He said you cannot compare Joao Pedro and Delap to the likes of Arsenal frontline or Erling Haaland, who is heading the attack for Manchester City, or Liverpool frontline that has Igor Ekitike and Mo Salah alongside Gakpo. So what Gary Neville is invariably saying, he has relegated Chelsea not to finish in the top 3 of the EPL. That is what I interpret what Gary Neville's statement is. But we are going to see how the EPL is going to be. Don't forget, it's a marathon. Match day one is what we just experienced. So lots of drama waiting ahead of us, and we are going to see how the EPL will explode this season. Without wasting much time, I actually made a preview of Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. You can check that in my previous video and have a look at that. It was indeed a frustrating draw, and in that video I said Chelsea were inefficient in front of goal. In fact, they couldn't break the deep-seated back line of Crystal Palace. You can check that in my previous video. Okay, let's dive into it and check out what the latest are in the transfer window. Let's check this from Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea keep working on Nkunku and Jackson exit. Premier League clubs and AC Milan are informed on Jackson's situation. Nothing advanced yet. Nkunku and Bayern talks continue while there is still no agreement. Xavi Simons waiting for it. The report further went on to say by Ben Jacob, Chelsea have made their position clear to Bayern. They want permanence to any exit. Nkunku understands to be in the same page. Talks between the clubs ongoing. Bayern still optimistic a deal can be reached. Different formulas being discussed. Bayern Munich actually wants Christopher Nkunku, but all they are interested in is a loan deal. And Chelsea are actually standing their ground that what they want is a permanent deal for Christopher Nkunku. But so far, there is discussion still ongoing between Chelsea and Bayern Munich. And we are going to see how this will play out. If by the end of the transfer window, Christopher Nkunku will definitely remain in Chelsea or be a Bayern Munich player playing his football in the Bundesliga. We are going to see that. But there's a lot of progress in the transfer talk. Check this out, coming from Florent Plattenberg. FC Bayern and Christopher Nkunku have reached a full verbal agreement. Personal terms are 100% agreed, as Christopher Nkunku wants to join Bayern. However, Chelsea still wants a permanent deal, as previously reported, while Bayern are still considering a loan. There is no agreement on the structure of the deal yet after new negotiations over the weekend. Further talks between the clubs are expected. Max Ebel pushing hard, but it's very difficult. While Bayern Munich officials are pushing for the deal to go through, it is understood from that report that Bayern Munich and Christopher Nkunku have actually reached full agreement on player side. And that definitely means that Christopher Nkunku wants a move to Bayern Munich, as Chelsea still insists on a permanent deal. But the situation right now is that the clubs the two clubs are still in discussion, and we are going to see how this is going to end between Chelsea and Bayern Munich. Chelsea insists on a permanent deal. Bayern Munich wants a loan move with an option to buy, but the transfer market is still wide open, and the player in question, talking about Christopher Nkunku, actually wants a move to Bayern Munich. So, in the coming days, we'll see how this will definitely play out. Will Christopher Nkunku join Bayern? That is the question. Drop your comment down below. Let's see how this play out in the coming days. Okay, let's move on. Check this report out as coming from Fabrizio Romano. Xavi Simons never considered as option other clubs than Chelsea. All parties waiting for Nkunku exit as next step ahead of talks accelerating with Leipzig. No Bayern for Xavi, only Chelsea Football Club. Manchester City target is Rodrigo, not Xavi or Akliuche. This is interesting. I think if there is one player that I've been patiently waiting for a move to Stamford Bridge, it's none other than Xavi Simons. And so far, Xavi Simons' deal, like I said in one of my videos, if Christopher Nkunku and Nicolas Jackson exit Chelsea Football Club today, within the next 48 hours, Xavi Simons will be announced as a Chelsea player, and that is just the only thing that is actually holding the deal. All Chelsea wants, and the condition there is a player has to leave before Chelsea can bring in Xavi in order to balance the book. So far, Nkunku is at the verge of joining Bayern Munich, and that will definitely make way for Xavi Simons to head over to Chelsea. We'll see how this also play out in the coming days. Okay, let's switch. Still in Chelsea, let's take a look at the latest concerning Nicolas Jackson. Take a look at this report from Florian Plettenberg, Sky Sports. Aston Villa have added Nicolas Jackson to their shortlist and are closely monitoring his situation. Talks have already taken place. Several clubs are interested. FC Bayern have also gathered information, but a move to Munich is not happening. The 24-year-old versatile striker is still on the verge of leaving Chelsea Football Club. Aston Villa now there. Last week, it was Newcastle that were the favourites to land Nicolas Jackson. And report coming just earlier today shows that Aston Villa have entered the race to sign Nicolas Jackson. And a couple of other clubs have actually indicated interest. Bayern Munich have also inquired about the 24-year-old Senegalese international and Chelsea forward, but there is no move to Munich in place. But so far, Aston Villa and Newcastle United are the front runner to see how they can secure the signature of Nicolas Jackson. The transfer window is still open. We have less than 3 weeks for the market to close. Will Nicolas Jackson actually exit Chelsea? Because as Chelsea manager said, talking about Enzo Maresca in one of his press conferences, he said Nicolas Jackson is training with the team, but the situation is something you all already know, that he is working on an exit to leave Chelsea Football Club. Let's see how this will definitely play out in the coming days. Okay, let's head over to Crystal Palace home ground, talking about Selhurst Park, where we have Eberechi Eze. Here's the latest report on Eberechi Eze. As reported by Ben Jacob, as broken on market madness, Spurs pushing to sign Eberechi Eze this week for a similar fee to Mohamed Kudus, £55 million to £60 million discussed. Deal nearly agreed on Friday. Talks advanced and Palace seeking a replacement. Eze has made it clear he wants the move. I'm not surprised that this news is definitely coming out today. Not at all. I haven't watched the sterling performance of Eberechi Eze against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge last night. I think if not for VAR, Eberechi Eze scored a superb free kick that would have eventually given Crystal Palace the win yesterday. Or that goal would have actually changed the tempo of that particular game. But I haven't seen the performance of Eberechi Eze. Tottenham Hotspur have actually had talks with Crystal Palace. In fact, they are willing to pay within the region of £55 million to £60 million, just the way they paid to West Ham to secure the signing of Mohamed Kudus. I think this is definitely going to make Tottenham Hotspur look very dangerous. I haven't watched Tottenham Hotspur against Burnley over the weekend with Mohamed Kudus bringing in 2 assists and Richarlison scoring both goals with a superb overhead kicks. Adding Eberechi Eze to that Spurs midfield. Definitely, Tottenham Hotspur will definitely be making a statement. Their rough season in 2024-2025 EPL season will definitely be a thing of the past. If Eberechi Eze joins Tottenham Hotspur, believe me, there won't be a pushover. There will definitely be a team to watch out for in this EPL season. Okay, let's move on. Take a look at the latest coming from Napoli, the Serie A. Check this out concerning Romelu Lukaku. From Fabrizio Romano, Napoli are back on the market for new striker, as reported yesterday, due to serious injury for Romelu Lukaku. The Belgian striker suffered muscle injury and won't be available for the next 3 months at least. Wow. Hard luck to Romelu Lukaku. That is one thing I don't wish for any players. But like they will always say, injury is part of the game and you cannot actually predict it. So, my thoughts also go out to Romelu Lukaku, just the way I felt for Chelsea centre-back, talking about Leverkusen, who is out for the majority of the season, if not completely out of the season. Romelu Lukaku will be out for Napoli for up to 3 months with muscle injury, and I wish him speedy recovery. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you in my next video.